Out of all the people, the one guy you would never think will get scammed is Mark Cuban. If you have ever watched Shark Tank, you know what kind of tough questions you would ask to figure out if that startup is a scam or not. But here's the crypto world he fell for. Cuban is one of the world's most famous entrepreneurs. He built the empire with $4.1 billion. In fact, he made his fortune during the dot-com bubble. He sold his startups to Yahoo for the $5.7 billion, which was the overvalued company that didn't worth its money, but he got away with the billions of dollars. And you know what? Expect him to be cautious and smart about, but no. A crypto company that promised a few 100% of returns scammed Cuban and reaped his money. Cuban invested in the Titan, is the cryptocurrency token that went from the $60 to $0 in just a few hours. Price fluctuated all the time in the market. But this token was a rocket that exploded in the middle of its way, and it was the matter of the time before it hits the ground. Even the GameStop shares didn't crash that much. In fact, GameStop is doing pretty good now. Just imagine how much interest the hedge funds are paying on their borrowed stocks. Other company from the South Africa that was founded by two brothers vanished from the face of the earth with $3.6 billion of Bitcoin, and there are the hundreds of the thousands of such examples. What people don't understand about Bitcoin is that the blockchain on which Bitcoin is based might be super difficult to hack, but most of those online wallets or online platforms or the networkers that emerge out of the nowhere could be hacked, or they could be just a scam like the case with the South Africa brothers. Remember a bit Connect, it claimed to be an open source cryptocurrency that guarantee investors 40 returns. It seems pretty realistic, however, a bit Connect unfortunately turned to be the Ponzi scheme. That cost its investors an incredible $3.5 billion. I don't feel sorry for the people who fell for it, because you could say it's a scam by watching just one of their ads. Pinction was another scam in Vietnam's cryptocurrency that raised about $1 billion from the 32,000 investors instead of the being paid back in cash. Investors were rewarded with the new token called EFAN before the team behind Pincoin disappeared alongside all the invested money. If you are not convinced yet, then good luck. Does that mean Bitcoin or crypto in general is one big scam, or is Peter Steele's cause a Chinese financial weapon to destroy the United States? To answer that questions, we have to go back to the history in 1962 and meet computer scientists Linkcher up with the idea of the global computer network. And 3 years later, he with his team successfully made two computers communicated with each other in the 1969. A student from the Stanford wanted to send a message logging to another computer, but the systems crashed because the message was too big, so he could only send the I/O. It wasn't a big deal back then, but it was the beginning of the revolution that will soon change the world. You see, at the end of the day, what is internet? Have you ever asked yourself? This question is not technology that introduced something fundamentally new. It's just made the communications faster and better. Take an Uber, for example. Taxi were things way before the internet exists, but the internet made communications between people who want to give the ride for the financial rewards and the people who want a ride more effective, stopping every car in the road to ask them if they would give you a ride for the certain amount of the money. It's dumb, but when you are using Uber, that's exactly what you are doing. But much faster. Now, wait a second. Much faster. At some point in developing the internet, we realized that Why do we have to communicate the same message over and over, where we can just store that information in the one place and let everyone to access it from there? Take this video for example. It is stored at the data center where you want to watch this video. A signal is sent from the data center so where this video is stored to a cell tower via the optical fiber network, and from the cell tower to the signal reach your phone through electromagnetic waves. But if you are access to the internet from the Wi-Fi, when your router is literally connected to the global fiber network. The optical fiber network connects the data centers, which cells, towers, and routers. This network is literally the backbone of the internet. Whatever you create a website, upload a video on YouTube, or the picture to Instagram, your device sends that picture in the forms of codes to data center. Then the data center sends the message to the other people who are connected the internet. That's how the internet works in short. But before we got into all of this back in the 1970s, all that internet could do is to send emails, and it wasn't clear how sending an emails could fundamentally change the entire world. But as more people got involved and learned how the internet works, they started testing different ideas. What if instead just sending an email, so you could send an audio or maybe a video? So beginning in the 1990s, thousands of the companies emerged like the Netscape, Yahoo, Amazon, eBay, even every company tried to take the existing business models and to make it more efficient, since the whole purpose of the internet was to make the communication faster. eBay connected sellers with buyers. If you wanted to sell your old TV, you could let the world know that you want to sell your old TV without leaving your house. If you wanted to buy books, you no longer had to go to the bookstore, because the bookstore could be on your computer as long as you had access to internet. The first email was sent Ray Tremishant to himself in the 1971. It took us 21 years to be able to send video and audio via the internet, and even after 20 years of developing the internet, we still did not have the YouTube, Facebook, PayPal, or Google. It took us 36 years from time we sent the first emails to create the device that put the internet in our pockets. But this revolution had its dark side as well. Back in the 1990s, people realized that they could easily steal people's sensitive information, such as the credit card numbers, social security numbers, or access their computers by pretending to be the bank, the IRS, or anyone without authority. Summers can empty victims' bank account, take out tens of the thousands of dollars in the bank loans or their victims' names, and purchase expensive furniture or electronic under no repayment for 12 months. Shows a lot of people handled their information, because back then most people had no idea how the internet works. That was just on the paper of this camp. As the internet became more mainstream, every business slashed.com then of its name, making their stock's price shoot through the moon. Does that remind you of something? Even Mark Cuban sold the worthless company Broadcast.com for the $5.7 billion, which made him the billionaire, but the company went bankrupt a few years later. It kept handling until everything crashed in the 2000s. A lot of the people lost faith in the internet, but people who understood the underlying technology behind it understood how it could make the world a better place, and that went to innovations such as the Airbnb, Uber, Google, Amazon, YouTube, iPhone, and so on. And that's the perspective have to use to understand Bitcoin. Bitcoin could worth millions of dollars or maybe zero. It's a mystery that only time will tell. But judging blockchain based on the Bitcoin is like saying that the internet is Yahoo back in the 1990s, the company that barely anyone knows. Today we can already see how blockchain is capable of the changing the financial industry or the art industry through the NFT But that's just one tiny part, because when you understand how this technology works, you can see how you can apply to everything else. The internet made communications faster and more efficient, but blockchain makes that information more trustable and reliable. At first glance, it doesn't seem helpful. How does making information trustable could revolutionize the world? And that's the quite early users of the internet asked. How making communication and information faster could change the world? To answer that questions, we have to understand how blockchain marks and how it could be implemented in other industries. Besides the financial industry, blockchain stores information in the chronological blocks, and when you make changes to any information in these blocks, you don't change any of these blocks. The change is stored in the new block. Change to bitcoin a specific date and a specific time in the new block. We have been using this technology for the centuries, but we have been storing that information first in books and now in computers. When it comes to your credit card information, it is stored in the computers of your bank that manage your transactions. When it comes to drugs and is sold in the pharmaceutics, that information is only stored in the pharmacy and the blockchain. Is that technology that provides a single version of the truth to all authorized parties. Blockchain builds trust in any data or information by the decentralizing it, allowed anyone to interact directly with each other without the international. It seems like the next natural step is to evolution to the internet. Every property in the world could be stored in a blockchain, and there will be any land dispute again. You no longer have to pay fortunes to lawyers and go through constantly time-consuming disputes or over who owns these lands. There is literally a war going in the counter rooms between companies for intellectual properties. Every intellectual property could be recorded in the blockchain technology that can serve as the distributable digital ledger. Marriage divorce supply chains is entirely possible that the entire world is going to be run on the blockchain, but only time will tell how the final version of this technology is going to look. And Bitcoin also is a currency popularized blockchain. It might not necessarily be the future of this technology. That is speculations, of course. It could be, or it might not be. But when you look at its reversal much as the Ethereum, that's not just the currency, but the either platform upon which could be built the blockchain for anything starts from smart contracts to ledgers to record the intellectual property. You start to understand that Bitcoin is the tiny part of the blockchain. So when you think about crypto or the blockchain, things outside of the scope of current popular cryptocurrencies. To see the wild pictures of where this technology is headed to, if you have enjoyed this video, make sure you give this a thumbs up, and if you're new around here, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. By the way, we have the second channel which you will definitely enjoy. If you enjoy this channel, I would really appreciate if you guys need to the channel and subscribe. I will be grateful. Thanks for watching, and I see you in the next one.